Hello and welcome to SWB, and today we are here with our Porsche 1966 911 restoration project, and today we've just had a load of bits arrive, so I'm going to go ahead and show you just what we've got. So we're here, we've got all the bits laid out on this bench. There's a few bits over there as well, but over here we're going to start off with all the wheel nuts. We've got 20 brand new wheel nuts in total, so obviously 25 on each wheel, so these are all good, looking much better than the ones we have on the car. So yeah, and obviously more factory as well. I think the ones we have on at the minute are the later aluminium ones, so yeah, definitely a need. We've also got the top mount covers. These are plated as well. So these are also much nicer than the ones we've got on the cars, along with the bolts. So again, it just tidies up the car, makes it look more period correct, which is definitely what we want. This is just a few of the washer bits for the screen wash. So we've got the jets here. These are all the bits fitted, so they can go straight on and be fitted straight into the car, along with the cap, with the strip on it. Over here we actually have the pump. If I can open up the box. Struggler here. But there we go, we can get it out. Much nicer. We've also got the felt for that, for fitting, which is just here, just a little bit of felt, which again is just period correct. It's just what they had in the day. So I'll move that over there. But next up we've got the handbrake gaiter, just a little rubber cover, and the same for the gear lever as well. So we've got one there. Also in this box, got the mirror, and back in the day these cars only had the one mirror fitted to the driver's side. So we've got all the fitting kit to do that as well, and also a very nice steering wheel. The horn isn't here yet, but that is on its way, so we can get fitted with this and make it look much nicer. We were going to get our old one done, but sadly the old car actually came with a different steering wheel. This is a later one, as you can see. It's much smaller, a lot smaller than the factory fitted one, and it's just not in the best condition. But over here we have something much nicer. These are genuine Porsche taillights, so we're going to be very careful with these, as they are not the cheapest things on the market, especially for these period cars. So we open them up and they look very nice. I'm going to keep them in that box just to protect them. We've also got the bulb holders, if you're wondering what's missing there. These are these little things that, as I just mentioned, hold the bulbs. So we've got the 6 of them in total. And this is just the look of the old one that we had in the car. This is, as you can see, it's plastic. It's not in good condition. You can already see just the differences compared to that one to this one. This is actually like metal, much nicer quality. I know I said I wasn't going to take it out, but I can't help myself. There's a lot more weight in that than the other one as well. So yeah, you can already see the difference in them. But yeah, hopefully that stays there. So yeah, we've got a lot to get on with this. So I'm going to get started now. I think the best place to start is probably going to start off with the steering wheel, just to make this car look much more nicer, much more complete. So we'll get on with that now. We've got to remove the old steering wheel fitting. So this is obviously 6.1 to fit the old steering wheel, which was used to move it around until we got the newer steering wheel back. So we'll get on removing that and fit the new one. Firstly, we go ahead and grab a 27mm socket. We fit this to my ratchet so we can remove the centre nut. This comes off pretty easily as well, which is always a nice thing. With the nut off, we can now remove the washer and slowly pull the steering wheel boss up from the column, as you can see here. So we've just gotten the adapter off, and now our job is to go ahead and remove this. Now this is how the horn works. Now the only problem with this is at the minute we can already see that this is definitely rounded, so we have to go and get a tool to remove that. This one, hopefully we can get it off with a bit of power, but yeah, it's always important to remember that this is a little horn ring, so this will be removed, and basically that wire there is how it earths and how the horn works once it touches an earth point. So this will fit onto the back of our new steering wheel, which is just here. As you can see, these are the points where the bolts will fit in. Will fit in here and here. So we're going to get on with removing this off here now. Well, first thing I try is an impact driver, and well, as you can see, it worked perfectly. Freed the damaged bolts and allowed me to remove them with my screwdriver. Once the bolts have been removed, and now with the horn ring off, I decided to go ahead and clean it, because as you can see, it doesn't look the best, but now it looks a lot better. After that, I go ahead and grab myself some brand new bolts. and grab the new steering wheel. I'm going to go ahead and fit the horn ring to this so it's all ready to be fitted to the vehicle. With all of that fitted, we can now install it onto the vehicle. I make sure it's in the right orientation and slowly push the steering wheel into place before going ahead and fitting the washer and nut. As always, making sure it's up nice and tight. Well, as you can see, the steering wheel is now on, looking very, very nice. Sadly, we are missing the horn wire, as you saw, slightly aftermarket, and also the fact it's also broken, so there's no real way of using it in this, so we're going to have to get a new one, sadly, but at least the steering wheel's in. We can hopefully fit it once it's on, and either way, it's not too hard to take off if we do need to. But next up, we're going to move on to the handbrake rubber. This should be an easy one, and also the gear lever gaiter. Moving on to the rubbers, I firstly unwrap the handbrake cover, as you can see here. Next up, unwrap the gear lever gaiter rubber, then we can take them over to the car. We start by removing the cover around the gear lever, by removing the gear knob and pulling the gaiter up the lever, and as you can see, it's rock hard and very old in general. So it's nice to get this new one in. We easily slide it down the lever and feed it into the carpet, taking our time and making sure it's all secure. Refitting the carpet before then moving on to the handbrake. Well, next up, the handbrake rubber. This one's pretty simple. We start by sliding the rubber down the handbrake lever. This wasn't the easiest to capture what I was doing, but once we've done this, I again feed it under the carpet and position it till it's sat in the carpet correctly, and it isn't interfering with the handbrake's operation as well. Well, there we go. They are done. Both of them are on. Looking a lot better than what was on them before. Very rock hard. Solid old gaiters, so yeah, much better. But now we're going to go onto the front and do the top mount covers and new bolts. So if you pop open the bonnet, come in, let's have a look inside. So these are what we'll be changing. So you can see these bit here, just much older bolts. I mean, and these have been cleaned as well anyway, but as you can see, they just haven't made the difference to the car, so we're going to get some new ones, fit the new ones, and hopefully should make them look a lot nicer. So we'll get on with that now. Let's go. So to start with, we go ahead and remove the old bolts. We do this one at a time. This is to stop the damper from dropping while doing so. We replace this with a new cover and bolt as well. So once the bolts have been removed and been replaced, we go ahead and make sure the top mounts are in the right place before tightening them up fully, and then also checking both sides are fully secure. Well, we just got the new ones on. They're looking much nicer than what we had on. As you can see here, these are just some of the old ones. Just in general, a lot of grot and grime. And even the heads of the bolts, also rounding and stuff like that. So having new bolts on, also better as well, safety-wise, much stronger than using maybe 50-year-old bolts. So much better. So back again. We are going to be doing the tail light next after the front. So next job on our hands is to use these bulb holders, as you can see. So we've got to get some bulbs for these, get the new tail lights, if I can put them down somewhere safely. Don't want to get these damaged. So what we're going to do is take these off, fit them into these little points here, make sure they're wired up right, use some wiring diagrams and stuff like that, get them fitted to the car, and hopefully we can check that they work with the wiring. So I'm going to go ahead and get some bulbs, and then we'll start installing them into these taillights. Moving on to the bulb holders, I go ahead and unwrap all of them, and to take note, there are 4 single filament bulbs and 2 twin filament bulbs that must be used. I go ahead and install the correct bulbs to the necessary holders, making sure to take my time in doing so. Once these are done, I can now fit them into the tail lights. This is where I had to be really careful, as I didn't want to damage the bulb holders or the tail lights. But in the end, it was a pretty easy job, as they just simply push in with only a bit of force, so it made it a lot easier for me to do so. With all the bulb holders in the taillights, I move on to the wiring and installation process. I work through the wiring diagram, making sure everything's plugged in correctly. I had one little issue with the connector struggling to make it go on, but I managed to get it in the end. Eventually, once done so, I install the 2 screws and make sure not to go too tight and accidentally crack the taillight lens. It's always important to remember that bit. So there we go, we're at a point now. The tail light is in, it's all plugged in, all wired up. Sadly, I can't show you it working because I can't turn the battery on due to all the gauges missing. I don't want to arc any wires out or damage anything by turning that on, but it is all in, it is wired up correctly, so hopefully that should work when we get power. And now on to some bad news is we can't fit the other one because unfortunately the screws that we have for this side are not right, they don't fit, so typically, but you know, at least we have something to move on to, so we're going to keep that in the box, the tail light in the box, but everything's fitted, it's all ready to go, all of these are in, so all the bulb holders are in, so it's ready. All we need is two little screws and it's in. So always frustrating when something like that happens, you're always missing something small, something little. But next up we have the mirror, so we're going to get on with this, and hopefully we can get this on quite quickly, and then that will be us done, so see you in a minute. Well, the mirror was a very easy last job. Simply just slotted into the door and used a seal as well, and then we tightened up the 2 bolts with the nuts provided and made sure it's all good and secure. Well, there we go, the mirror is on, as you can see here, looking very, very nice. And there wasn't much to really show you guys to do. Well, show you guys what I was doing. It was just a bit of a pain, these bolts here. The only thing we are going to do is maybe trim these down, get some grommets, make sure they're properly secure. But other than that, that is the mirror. But yeah, we've got a few more bits on the way. Hopefully they can come soon enough so we can finish off some of the basics, like the tail lights, get all the wiring sorted, and other bits like that. But yeah, other than that, that is it. I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.